Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another iteration of the tier list, the July edition here. Before we get into it, I have 3 disclaimers though. So let's get through those quickly. First disclaimer is that, this tier list is not the MCOC Bible. This is a rough guide to the game, and just because a champion is in the one above all tier doesn't mean they're going to be better than a champion in God tier for every single fight in the game. This game is entirely matchup dependent, especially now. The game is only going in that matchup dependent direction. Especially, look at Warlock, the last Eternity of Pain boss. It was ridiculous. It was so hyper specific with that matchup because that's what these nodes are doing. So just keep that in mind. You want to rank up the right champion for the right job. It's just the champions that are ranked higher typically can do more. So the next disclaimer is that, this tier list started out as my tier list, but as time has gone on, it's our tier list. It's my channel's tier list, our community's tier list. I listened to all your guys' feedback. I read every single comment on these tier lists before I make my next one. I just read through over 200 comments on the last one, the Pride Month tier list, which you guys enjoyed. So if you want something changed, just write a comment, but be civil, keep it nice, and also don't just say do this or this champion's better than this champion. Tell me why. Give me some reasoning. Why are you telling me this? Why do you think the champion should be promoted? Why do you think the champion should be demoted? That's what I like to see. Okay, and the final disclaimer. Now, this is what's gonna happen. I feel like now that the list has gotten into a really good spot right now, and so there's not a whole lot left to change, but there are still some changes. But because that has happened, some people just want to see their favorite champion get moved up, and that's totally fair. But something I just want to reiterate here is that a champion that is in God tier, man, that is high praise. If we're talking about a champion in God tier, I feel like God tier has lost so much meaning over the course of the years of this game. God tier used to be like the absolute best. So when these champions are the God tier, these champions are really good, man. These are really good champions that can do a lot for you. So just because a champion's in God tier, that doesn't mean they're bad. Yeah, that might be the middle tier now, but that's still good. It's just as we go higher, it just gets even crazier. So just remember that, if you see a champion in God tier, be like, oh, I feel like the champion should be moved up. It's still high praise. God tier is still high praise, even today, in my opinion. I respect all these champions in God tier. I think of them as very good champions. It's when we go to the demigod tier and below, that's where it's okay, these champions need some help. Okay. Now, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the list. Now, one other thing is you might see there's some orange, some champions in orange. The orange just means that we're going to be talking about them today and that there was a change in their ranking. Just an easy way to color code it that way. So that's what the orange means. So also, if I know someone was asking me for a full picture of the tier list, that's kind of hard to do here on a video. But if you look in the description, there will be a link to the tier list so you can view it that way, and also a link to a full vertical picture that you can easily see on your phone if you want that. So just check the description for those. But let's get into things. So we had the Thor Jane Foster buff. Now, man, with this Thor event, I was really stoked for hopefully to get a Stormbreaker Thor, which Kabam recently just tweeted out a picture of Thor, MCOC Thor, with Mjolnir and Stormbreaker behind him, but I think it was more meant as a meme, as a joke. If you've seen Thor Love and Thunder, you'd understand the joke, but it looks like we're not going to be getting a Stormbreaker Thor for a while, and all we got in the way of an actual Thor this month was Thor's Jane Foster's buff. Now, I really like Jane in the movie, and I think she was cool. I wish we saw more of her, but this buff was not it, man. I was really hoping for a full overhaul buff, but they didn't do that. I moved her up from buffable tier to demigod tier. Let me know if you guys think she should go any higher. I feel like the community's a little split when I hear people talking about Thor Jane. Some people say, oh, garbage buff, didn't do anything. Other people kind of talking it up. Be like, she can do this, do this, do this now. She's actually pretty good now. So, I don't know. I'm going to leave her in demigod for now, but I'd love to get your guys' feedback, and we'll reassess the next tier list. Also moved up Purgatory from the buffable tier. I saw a couple, I think it was actually only one comment talking about Purgatory, but I've also seen some of my alliance mates talking about her. so moved her up 1 tier. And then here we moved up Wiccan, so he was in the God tier. After some time has gone by, I feel like Wiccan has already started to grow on people. I saw a video of him just destroying this Alliance War boss. It was pretty cool. And so yeah, I think Wiccan deserves this Beyonder spot, especially with the Neutralize. There's not many champions in this game that have access to Neutralize, and just being able to use it is a kind of big deal. So yeah, Wiccan, I think he makes into that Beyonder tier. And then we also moved up Mojo. So I do have in brackets here though, max or close to max with a high sig, because then you're going to increase your damage output by a lot. But man, I've always liked Mojo. He's always, when I think of Mojo though, I always just think of him more as a defender, but he's been shining in Battlegrounds on attack actually. So I love to see it, man. Mojo, his build up is not that bad, which is what I really like about him. What I really liked about him when I first started using him. So we upgraded him to the Beyonder tier. That's Mystic. Nothing else really changed. Nothing in the top, the one above all tier changed. So I think, all right, let's go ahead and move on to the Mutants. So Deadpool X-Force got a buff last month, and I totally just forgot about him and Yondu's buff when I was doing the tier list, just because, and I think that kind of speaks volumes in and of itself that their buffs were just forgettable, which is kind of unfortunate. So I moved up Deadpool X-Force from buffable tier again to demigod tier. Let me know. I really don't have much experience with this buff. I have a lot more experience with the Yondu one. So let me know if you guys think Deadpool X-Force should be moved higher. I don't know. And that's also what I love about making these tier list videos is, you know, on some rankings, like I'm just not sure. I just get to ask you guys, and we figure it out together. And then we also moved up Iceman a tier just because, you know, Iceman, he's a little bit outdated, but he's still solid. He's got triple immunities. Even today, that's still good. He can counter evade. He still has some stuff that he can do. And yeah, I think Iceman deserves God tier. So simple champ, but it's worth it. And then, yeah, I had a couple people talking about White Magneto, you know, maybe not deserving to be in this tier. And it's like, White Magneto can do most of what Red Magneto can do, just not as well. But he can still do it. But to make up for not doing it quite as well, he has his guidance. And that is just it's one of the absolute best pre-fights in the entire game. If your champion is metal or a hero and you have guidance on a fight, instead of applying a stun debuff through parrying, you apply a stun passive, which is incredible, man. Especially in anywhere that you have Limber, like Labyrinth of Legends. Guidance totally gets around Limber, which is insane. And if Limber would have been in Abyss, which I was shocked that it wasn't when Abyss came out, I think we'd be hearing a lot more about Wags back then. Well, I think, did Abyss come out before they got buffed? Yeah, I think it did. But it would have been revolutionary for Abyss, you know, if Limber was in there after the buff happened. But yeah, man, I think White Mags definitely deserves a spot. Guidance in and of itself is so insane. Plus, he's just like a discount Magneto. So it's really, really solid champ. I'm hearing a lot more people talk and discover the power of White Magneto lately too. So I like to see it. I really do like to see it, man. And yeah, we still got Kitty Pryde, top of the class. I still believe that Kitty is the best mutant in the game by far. I think honestly she might be the best champ in the game right now. I just think she is insane. And it's really cool to see comments where people are like, oh man, I got Kitty. I see what you're talking about now. And just, those comments warm my heart, man. When I see people getting Kitty and seeing what I've been talking about for months and months and months. It's good to see. So yeah, that pretty much does it for the mutants. Not a whole bunch of change here. Science, not a whole bunch of change here, really. Any change here. I saw a couple people saying that they think Mr. Negative should be moved up. So if you guys think Mr. Negative should be moved up to the next tier, let me know. Definitely up for discussion. And also, some people were talking about Joe Fixit. I heard Joe Fixit did a really good job in the latest Battlegrounds beta. So we could see a movement from Joe Fixit to go to Beyond a tier, which, if you told me that like 3 years ago, I would not have believed you. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about Joe Fixit. Do you think he deserves a promotion? There's also a couple comments talking about Spider-Gwen and Miles maybe being deserving of a upgrade. So again, let me know on all of those characters if you guys think they deserve an upgrade. I think right now they're in a pretty good spot. Like I said, God tier is still a really good rank. But yeah, if you guys think they should be upgraded, let me know in the comments. These are definitely ones that I'm not 100% sure about. So would love to hear more. And Scorpion, we put him in the one above all tier. And I definitely feel even more confident with this ranking now. Just his selectable immunities are so insane. He is definitely my most wanted new champion now. Well, Archangel is technically, but like of like actual new champs, and like I'm gonna be going for more feature of the current 6-star feature crystals to try for Scorpion. He's definitely a champion that I don't want to miss out on. Those selective immunities are just game changing, to be honest. So I really want to add him to my roster. Really love that Scorpion. Now let's move on to the tech class. There was some changes here and some stuff that I want to talk about as well. So Yondu, upgraded him from buffable tier to demigod tier. I was definitely underwhelmed with Yondu's buff. Definitely wanted to see more. I wanted to, man, like when I used to think about Yondu and I'd think about him getting a buff because like I'd watch back the MCU and I'd see that the first Guardians movie, and I just see Yondu just dismantle an entire army within seconds with his Yaka arrow. And that just made me think like critical hits and critical bleeds. Like that's what Yondu needs. His damage output should be insane. That Yaka arrow should be hitting all the critical spots on the opponent, should be causing critical bleeds, should be getting guaranteed crits. Like that just makes so much sense to me for Yondu, and they just did not incorporate any of that into his buff. So I was just really disappointed. Just wanted to really see more, man. Yeah, so I don't know. Let me know if you guys think Yondu could go higher. I could maybe see him going to God tier, but not sure on that one. But Iron Man Infinity War, we did take into God tier. There's one really passionate person talking about Iron Man in the comments, and so he convinced me to upgrade him here to God tier. And then I wanted to talk about Penny. I'm considering moving Penny to the next tier. I would like to know what you guys think about that. And I also want to talk about Ultron. So we moved Ultron to the one above all tier. And lately, I've been using Ultron a lot more. I've been bringing him to AQ every day, map 7. So in section 2, I have basically a path where you want to use a tech champion. If you don't use a tech champion, your attack is lowered by about 50%. And they have some power gain when you're not standing next to them. And some aggression prowess. And for like months and months and months, all I've used is Guillotine there. But now I've been using Ultron there, and he's been crushing it, and I've been having just a lot of fun with him, and I'm definitely coming around to see what all the hype is about with Ultron. He's got the damage, the regen is so nice. Yeah, I'm really digging Ultron, especially against mutants, which there's 2 mutants on the path. He applies degens instead of bleed. Yeah, I'm on the Ultron hype train now, man. Really see what you guys have been talking about. And yeah, Ultron's buff, a money buff, such a good buff, man. Love it. And yeah, you guys are definitely right about that one. Okay, moving on to the skill class. There is a lot going on in the skill class. And now we can actually talk about Valkyrie and Gorr, which totally forgot about them. Let's start with Valkyrie. So she's landing in the Beyonder tier, but in brackets here I do have you want max sig. So basically how Valkyrie works is in her signature ability, it's based on how many of her buffs she has or effects, the Pierce and the Bulwark. And at max sig, if you just have one of them, you can take full effect from her signature ability. Just one, you're able to be stun immune and completely bypass Unstoppable. It's a better bypassation of Unstoppable than slow. I think it's just honestly the best. She's the best Unstoppable counter in the game. I said that in my video I made on her, but that's with max sig. So just a bit of a thing to consider with her. I think she firmly makes it into Beyonder tier with max sig, maybe even the one above all tier. I think it's a little bit too soon for that. She like just came out. But yeah, I think she's pretty darn good, and she lands Beyonder tier pretty easily. I think there's even room for an upgrade. Let me know what you guys think about that and about Valkyrie. And then we have Gorr the God Butcher. So he's landing in God tier, funnily enough. I don't think he'd like that. I don't think he'd want to be in God tier. He'd probably want to just kill this tier. So Gorr, definitely a bit disappointing. I think Gorr is better than people give him credit for, but he's definitely not nearly as good as I think he should have been or could have been. I do have a video coming on him sometime soon that I'm hopefully going to be able to show you guys why I personally like him, but I still think, and I'm reaching a bit too still, so I just, yeah, a bit disappointed with Gorr. But the thing is, guys, hopefully, you know, with the whole rebalance program that Kabam has in place, Gorr gets rebalanced and just becomes better. I think that's a possibility we could see in the future, and I hope that comes to fruition. So that's Valkyrie and Gorr landing in Beyonder tier and God tier. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with those rankings? And then we had a demotion of Mole Man. So Mole Man went from the one above all tier to the Beyonder tier with his change. Now Mole Man's change, what it did is before you could be at, so how it works is his true accuracy is supposed to be under 10 monster mass charges. You have it. If you go over, you're supposed to lose it. But what was happening is when you triggered Frenzy, you were also supposed to lose it, but it wasn't working that way. So you trigger Frenzy, now all of your hits are guaranteed crits, and you'll apply bleeds. And he was still keeping that true accuracy if you stayed under 10. And it was, I think, like 20 is his max, so you had to stay with a smaller amount of charges, but it was manageable, and it was really good. And so they changed that. They took that away. They fixed it. Technically is a fix, but it still is technically also a nerf since he's been working one way for over a year. So yeah, I think that just takes him down a tier for me personally. I ranked him down. I might rank him back up one day. I don't know, but I think it definitely takes him out of this top tier, which is unfortunate. Rip Mole God. Yeah, it's unfortunate. But on the brighter side, we did have some promotions from God tier to the Beyonder tier with these three skill champions here. So Black Panther OG, I got in brackets there, skill cap. You definitely need to be really good at intercepting to take Black Panther to his peak. But if you can do that, he can do some pretty wild things with his bleed, all his bleeds, all his damage. I think he's turning off defensive ability accuracy as well. I've heard lots of really good things about Black Panther. Shout out to Horny, not Horny. He's a big Black Panther lover. And then we got Black Widow Deadly Origin upgraded. I saw some really crazy stuff with her in Battlegrounds. Her damage output is just pretty nuts. So that's the main reason she's here. And same with Elsa. She's also been doing some pretty crazy things in Battlegrounds. And I think I've been sleeping on, honestly, both of these skill champions for quite a while. They're just definitely not my favorite. But I don't want to be super biased, you know? So I can see what other people see. And so we're going to upgrade them to Beyonder tier. Let me know if you guys agree with that. There was quite a few comments talking about Black Widow. I'd say like 3 or 4. And they definitely had some likes. People are agreeing with it. So I can see it. And like there's this one match in Battlegrounds I remember. I thought I had this guy. I had a clean fight. I come out. And he just destroyed my Dragon Man with his Black Widow Deadly Origin. And I just put Dragon Man in my deck. And I was just like, God damn it. So yeah. That's the skills. Now let's move to Cosmic because there was some other moves. So Annihilus got upgraded. I don't know why I had him in buffable tier. I think he definitely deserves demigod tier. Some people were even saying he should be in god tier. So if you guys think Annihilus should get another tier promotion, let me know. And then we got Gorr placed here, and then Medusa. So we upgraded Medusa from god tier to Beyonder tier, and we took Cat Marvel movie from Beyonder tier to one above all tier. I think I originally had Cat Marvel movie here. And I think I moved her down, and now I'm moving her back up. I don't know. I think she's definitely the bottom of this tier, but I think she still deserves to be there. And there's also a few comments talking about Corvus and saying that Corvus should be a tier higher. And guys, honestly, I think Corvus 2022 pretty irrelevant. Honestly, he's just Hercules is the new and improved Corvus. He's a much, much, much better version of Corvus. So just with Hercules being in the game, I just see Corvus's like reason to be in the game go even lower. So I cannot justify putting Corvus in this next tier. Plus, you definitely want to be running suicides if you're using Corvus. And the whole building missions, I hate it. I hate targeting champions. There's just better champions that have better damage, better, easier build up, and you don't have to worry about all the shenanigans that you do have to worry about with Corvus. So I just don't think Corvus belongs in that top tier personally, and I just refuse to put him there. I honestly, I just think he's irrelevant these days. I'm not using him anymore. I rarely use him. I got him as a 6-star, which is cool. I might rank him up, have some fun with him in incursions, but outside of that, I'm not going to use him. Why when I have Hercules? Why would I use Corvus? There's no need. Okay. And Hercules and Cosmic Ghost Rider, so they're sharing the top spot in the One Above All tier. Same with Nick Fury and Shang-Chi. And I saw, I think it's only like one, maybe two comments saying that they think Hercules is not only the best Cosmic, and not only better than Cosmic Ghost Rider, but basically the best champion in the whole game. Now, gotta disagree there. I really genuinely think Cosmic Ghost Rider and Hercules are just so close to each other in the best Cosmic champ. Like, honestly, you guys have seen it this week, or this month, with Eternity of Pain. Cosmic Ghost Rider has just been crushing fights in under 30 seconds. Like, it's just ridiculous, dude. Cosmic Ghost Rider is just such a beast. He's just so good. I love Cosmic Ghost Rider so much, man. He's just such a good champion. His damage is insane, but he doesn't just have damage. He also has utility. He's got heal block. He can power lock with his damnation. All his debuffs. He can easily cancel healing with Despair, but he doesn't even need to cancel healing because he just does so much damage that it doesn't matter if they're healing. He's so good. I absolutely love Cosmic Ghost Rider. He even has good immunities with Bleed and Incinerate immunity. He's such a good champ, man. Absolutely love Cosmic Ghost Rider. Then the last champ that I wanted to talk about today, Hulkling. So Hulkling, put him in the One Above All tier, man. I think Hulkling is one of the absolute best champs released this year. I'd say top 3 best champs so far released this year. I just think he is such an incredible champ. Offensively, defensively, so easy to play. His ramp up is so quick, so easy, and it more than pays off. Like he's just such a solid champion. Just very, very solidly built, balanced too. I don't think he's too overpowered. He's not that crazy. He's just simple, fun, easy, and just really good. Also has incredible immunities too. He's immune to poison and shock. 2 great debuffs to be immune to, or just effects. It's not just debuffs. And also immunity to power, burn, steal, and drain, I think. Yeah. So just incredible immunities, man. And with a synergy, he can also become stun immune. It counters Penny Parker, one of the best defenders in the game. Like hard counter. He's just an absolutely incredible champion. And that's why I'm going to be taking him up to a very high level. So, yeah, guys, that is going to do it for this tier list. The July tier list. Wow, 20 minutes already. These videos so fast. That's going to do it, though. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really look forward to reading the comments on these. But again, let's keep it civil. And any changes you want me to make, again, just be nice about it. And hopefully provide a good reason why. That is going to do it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy, I would really appreciate you dropping a like. Sharing this video around really helps me and the channel out. We are getting so close to 100,000 subscribers, man. It's close to like a little over 5,000 now away. And once we get there, we're going to be eating this world's hottest gummy bear, 9 million Scovilles, on stream. Going to be burning my mouth for your entertainment. It's going to be such a fun time. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. Really been enjoying making these. Going to continue making them every single month, guys, as long as you guys continue to support it and want to see it. It's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out.